Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Barakatah, Yahweh Shamar Al Thumb Bashim Yahushua. It's preaching officer 500 Mathum Yard out of I.S.U.P.K, started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of YAHANNA. We've been teaching the truth about the Bible since 1969. The truth being that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are are the real Israelites of the Bible, and we God's chosen people. And we God's chosen people. You know what I mean? We've been teaching this truth for a long time, and we're gonna continue to do so. You know what I mean? This is the brotherhood class. I'm gonna go ahead, go into a few things. The title of the class is who are the prominent people of the Bible? Who are the prominent people of the Bible? You know what I'm saying? When you look all throughout the Bible, when you read throughout the Bible, you understand, all you're going to see is, basically the nation of Israel and how we basically, was following God, how we stopped following God, how we stopped, how we started disobeying our Father, you understand, and having us basically, go through all types of hell and turmoil because, we were just disobedient. See our ups and downs throughout the whole Bible. Who are the prominent people of the Bible? The prominent people, obviously the Israelites, right? You understand? But we're going to go in depth on who these people are today for people that don't know out there. For people that might not know out there, just going to go into, the deep deep dive into who these Israelites really are, according to the Bible, and who they are today. You understand? So let's get some scriptures real quick. I'm gonna go start at Deuteronomy. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I'll start at Deuteronomy 27:1. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 1. It's like verse 1. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. This is Moses, and the saying is speaking to the elders, the elders of Israel, the Israelites. He's speaking to the whole nation of Israel here in this precept, which also lets you know that, he's giving them commandments, right? It says it right here. It says, and Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. So he's speaking to the Israelites. We know this, right? We know this already. Now let's go to the next chapter, and we're going to start the first verse again. All right, and I'm going to read on. It says, all right, this is the book of Deuteronomy 28:1. It says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. You understand? This is the Most High saying, man, he gonna put us above. It's like he gonna put the nation of Israel above all nations on the earth. And plus, the part I really want to get to right here, where it says, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. You know what I mean? This is Moses, if you read it, these laws weren't given to everybody. These laws wasn't given to everybody. You understand? These religions out here will teach you something different, that, the laws of God were given to everybody. The laws of God were preached to everybody. And that's a lie. That's a lie. The laws of God were only given to the nation of Israel. And we're going to get into who these Israelites are. You understand? Let's get some more. Let's get Deuteronomy 28:15. 15. And then we could possibly go back to verse 1 eventually to hearken on other things in the precept. We're going to go to verse 15. Verse 15 says this. It reads, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God." So if we don't listen, if we do not listen, that's what the word hearken mean. If we decide to not listen to the Most High, if we decide not to listen and follow what the Most High, what our Father told us to do, then something was going to happen, right? And the scripture going to break it down. It says, "To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." You understand? It says, so these curses is going to overtake you, is going to come upon you, and these are the things that's going to happen to the nation of Israel. If the nation of Israel decides to not follow what the Father said, if we don't, if the Israelites didn't hear or listen to anything the Most High said and just ignored it and decided to do what we, thought was best. Like, excuse me. So, what I'm saying? It said it was going to be curses put on the nation of Israel if, they decided to do something different than what the Most High showed them to do through Moses. All right, verse 16, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field." We're gonna be cursed in the city and the field. You understand? We'll be cursed on both sides. You understand? You know what I mean? I'm gonna go to verse 32. "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people." Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. You understand? Like when you read this, it's breaking down what's going to happen to the nation of Israel if we, if the nation of Israel decided to separate themselves from the Most High, and to let it be known out there, the Israelites are black people, are Hispanic people, are Native American Indian people. That's who the nation of Israel really is. That's who we are today. You understand? And these curses that I'm about to read out to you right now, these curses that I'm about to read out, these curses fit us today perfectly. They fit what we're going through today, like a puzzle piece. You understand? Like the last piece of the puzzle. You understand? This is what, that's what this situation is right here. If you listen real closely to these curses right here, man, you're gonna understand this is what we go through today. This is what we go through on a daily basis, on a day-to-day basis. This is what happens to us. All right. So I'm gonna read some more. Verse 32. "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long." You understand? This is what happened to us, man. When we were, given into sold into slavery, right? You understand? Our sons and daughters, they were snatched from us, basically. You know what I'm saying? And let you know who are the other tribes of Israel today. You know what I mean? The Mexican brothers and sisters, the Latino brothers and sisters, you understand? They got their babies being snatched from them. Their babies being snatched from them, whole families being torn apart. This is what's happening today, too. You understand? The Bible is a living book. You know what I mean? This is what's happening today to us, just like it happened in the past. You know what I mean? Let's get some more. "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long." We're going to be looking for them all the day long, and we are not going to be able to find them. We are not going to be able to come back together with our families, man. slugger. We won't be able to come back together with our families. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be separated from torn apart from one another. You know what I'm saying? And just live a hell like lifestyle. Let's get some more. And there shall be no might in thine hand. We ain't gonna have nothing to do. There's not gonna be anything we can do about it. Our families are gonna be set apart. It's like it's gonna be separated from one another, and we just gonna be brutalized. And there's nothing that we're gonna be able to do about it. You know what I'm saying? With us today, with the brothers is going through, and amongst the Latino brothers and sisters out there, you understand, their families are being torn apart. Their families are getting broken apart. You know what I'm saying? Separated from one another. And there's nothing that they can do to stop it. They're gonna try to stop it. They're gonna, get incarcerated with the other brothers and sisters out there. You know what I mean? And which is a good reason to go if you're gonna go to prison for something or get locked up for something, be apprehended for something, is to defend your family, even if the police look at you as you're wrong in it or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't wrong for trying to save your brothers and your sisters, you know what I'm saying, stand in the way of them brutalizing your brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, when they don't deserve it. You know what I mean? This is what happens today. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what happens today. And we're gonna get some more. Go to verse. Damn, slack. Let's go to verse 48. We'll go to verse 48. Verse 48 reads, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy. Well, I'm going to call the whole scripture out. Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst. You understand? The Most High going to send an enemy towards us. You know, understand? He's going to send an enemy towards us, and it's going to be an enemy that's, going to make us serve him in hunger and in thirst. You know what I'm saying? You know what we had to eat in hog troughs back in the day. You understand? They had us eating out hog troughs, eating slop and all that garbage. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, and they barely, it's a miracle that we was able to do all that work in the field, all that slaving in the field. You understand? With the nutrition that they gave us back then. You know what I'm saying? They worked us day and night, and they did not give a damn while brutalizing us at the same time. You understand? And they're gonna get their judgment for that, man. This is what happened to us right here. And these are some of the curses that fell upon us when we disobeyed. All right. It says, I'm gonna read on, and in nakedness. You know what I mean? When we was up there being sold on the auction block, right? You think we had clothes on? You think we had clothing or anything on? No. You know what I mean? We was barely clothed being sold to these enemies of ours. You know what I'm saying? When they was shipping us off like cattle, shipping us off like, like property, because we were their property. You know what I mean? And they want to treat us like that today. You know what I'm saying? When the time for slavery is up, the time for all that garbage is up. That's why we pray. That's why we go out on the street corners and wake our brothers and sisters up. You know what I mean? Black people, Hispanic people, and Native Indians out there that, to the fact that they are God's chosen people, and we are better than what they make us out to be. We're better than what they make us out, that they portray us to be on the news, portray us to be on, social media. You know what I'm saying? You go on social media, you go on World Star, whatever, IG, or, any place that just loves putting up, footage of black black people and Hispanic people acting a damn fool online or whatever like that. That's propaganda. You understand? Because why I say that is because white people have that same content online, but we're the ones that get the push online more than them. You know what I'm saying? They behave like animals. They are animals. They behave like animals all the time. You know what I'm saying? But we're the ones that's getting pushed on your television screen. You understand? Being portrayed as being some type of monster, some criminal, some, you know what I mean, something evil all the time. You know what I mean? When these other nations, they're the ones that's mass shooting. Like these white people, man, they raising up serial killers. They raising serial killers out there, and nothing. You know what I mean? What they say about those people is, oh man, he just got mental illness. And I mean, have mercy on him. He has a mental problem. He has a mental problem. He has something he's dealing with. He has an ailment. He's not all the way there. Let's give him a pass. But when it comes to us, though, when it comes to us and my brothers and my sisters out there, they, so quick to say, man, look at this nigga out here. Look at what he did. He stole some Skittles from the corner store, or he snuck some chips in his back pocket or whatever out the store. Oh man, they shooting again. Oh, they doing this, they doing that again. You know what I mean? When the oppressors' sons and daughters are out there shooting up schools, mass unaliving children, we need to examine you devils first and foremost. Maybe you devils need to be examined. Maybe you devils need better training as a, better, civilization, better civil training as a people, because what y'all doing is way worse than what we doing. And guess what? Black people, we're in hell. Hispanic people, we in hell. Native American Indian people, we in hell. And we still, it's like, we in hell. And we still functioning somewhat in some way in this hell without, rioting on the streets of America like any other nation would do. You know what I'm saying? All these other nations, they would do that. You know what I'm saying? If it was any other nation, if it was any other race, you know what I'm saying, in the same predicament as black people, as Hispanic people here in America, Native American Indian people, they would have organized revolution in America. They will have organized riots. They will be breaking into your goddamn house and, brutalizing everything. You understand? Vandalizing everything, because if you do what you do to us, to anybody else, their natural reaction is to say, man, damn all that, man, we about to do something about this. We're gonna take matters in our own hand, because what they doing to us, it seems like we ain't getting no, we're not getting a fair shot at anything. So any other nation, would do that, because that's just, 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. You know what I'm saying? But us though, we such a righteous, meek people. We take all the hell that y'all dish on us. We lived through the crack era. We lived through, you understand, all that, the heroin era, you know what I'm saying? I seen the videos of that in the past, documentaries about, how brothers and sisters lived, black and Latinos lived in New York City back in the, I want to say the 80s, was the 80s, where, brothers and sisters out there, they just casually, like, I'm looking at this, and it's like people was just out there casually just recording people, shooting up. It was like, just because I'm looking at them, these brothers out there are really, and it's like a rated R type footage, like these brothers out there, sticking themselves over and over again, sisters too, out there destroying themselves. And, anybody else would look at them and well, let me be more specific. White people, or any other heathen out there will look at them brothers and sisters like they animals, like they something disgusting. When once upon a time, that same brother, that same sister that shot up, right? That was using that dope, right? And once upon a time, they were regular people in their eyes, you know what I'm saying? If you were looking their eyes, right? They were regular people. They wasn't people that was getting high. They wasn't people that was abusing drugs or using drugs. It wasn't people that was doing that. They used to be, innocent boys and girls at once upon a time. You understand? Innocent boys and girls growing up in a family, with a father, with a mother, or with just a mother, either or. But they was innocent boys and girls at one point. But what happened, that they in the state, when you fast forward to the time where they at this point where they using drugs, where they getting high off of cocaine, you understand, getting high off of whatever the hell they using with God knows what. You understand, ODing off of all the drugs you poured in the communities, man. What happened? What happened? It's because the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. It's because of that, man. But because of these devils out here, man, is the reason why we have drug overdose. Drug ODing happening in our communities. You understand, and those are all symptoms of oppression. You know what I mean? We about to steer in a whole nother topic, but I don't want to do that too much. You understand? But what I mean? That's all byproducts of oppression. When you do that to a people, they're gonna resort to, getting high. Especially when you pouring the drugs in the communities, so in our neighborhoods, so it's at arm's reach and making it easy for us to get. You understand? Especially after we've been destroyed so damn much with no mercy. You know what I mean? Of course that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? I don't blame our people. I don't put all the blame on our people for that, man, because these devils, man, got a price to pay for what they did to us, man. It says in this precept, it says, let me see where I was at. Boom, 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 boom. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. You understand? And then I'm gonna read on. It says, until he have destroyed thee. You know what I mean? These devils, man, they did that, man. They had yokes of iron upon our necks. You know what I mean? This is what they did to us back in the day, man. Back in during the times of slavery. They had yokes of iron upon our neck. Shows you who these people are that they talking about. Who these curses are fitting. These curses are fitting black people. These curses are fitting Latinos, man. Taino Indians, you understand? These curses are fitting us. I'm gonna get some more. I'm gonna get some more. Let's go to verse 49. Let's keep going. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. You understand? The Lord was gonna bring a nation of people. He's gonna bring a nation of people, right? You know what I mean? Send them against us. Send them against us. As swift as the eagle flieth, it says right here, right? You know what I mean? From afar. I'm gonna read on. It says, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. We ain't gonna understand their tongue. We ain't gonna understand their speech. You feel? You understand what I'm saying? Let's get some more. Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. These people are not gonna have. These people are not gonna have. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna give a damn if you old. They're not gonna give a damn if you young, if you a baby, if you know what I mean, whatever. They're not gonna care because they heartless beasts. They don't have no conscience. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some more. Verse 51. No. So a nation of fierce continents, man. You know what I mean? A face of, you know what I mean, of these people. They gonna have face on them where they like, you know, just they up to no good. They up to no good. You know what I mean? That's what it mean right there. You know what I mean? And they're gonna be not caring about the old nor the young. Babies, the elderly, your grandmother, your great great grandmother, your father, you understand? Your grandfather, they not gonna care. You understand? They are not gonna care. They hate us, and they just built like that. They built to be some wicked bastard. You know what I mean? That's with these people that the Bible is talking about right now. That's how they made to be. You know what I mean? Who's the enemies? Who's the enemies that it's talking about? You know what I mean? I'm proving right here. These all fit the curses that we've been through. Talking about the transatlantic slave trade, 1492. You understand? You know, the onslaught, the slaughter of the Native American Indians, these fit us perfectly, you know what I mean? And who's the enemies that is talking about? If, you know what I mean, it's talking about these enemies doing these things to the nation of Israel. These have to be the white people. These have to be white people. You understand? It is white people because this goes hand in hand with, you know what I mean, history. You know what I mean? You could combine, you could bring history into this, man. You know what I mean? We're gonna break it down some more. We're gonna go up to 64. We're gonna go up to 64 and we're gonna read that real quick. Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the end of the earth even unto the other. You understand? He's gonna scatter us among all people. Now, this is the part where Christians get confused too. Um, they read scriptures in the Bible and in the New Testament or wherever where it says, you know, what I mean, all nations gonna be saved and all that garbage. That's what they like to say. All nations gonna be saved, but they read it in the Bible where it says all nations be saved, and they don't have a goddamn clue what they talking about. That's why people shouldn't just read the Bible on their own without being taught by the priests and prophets of the Lord and the I.S.U.P.K. You're not gonna understand a goddamn thing you're reading. You know what I mean? Because it just ain't meant for you to. You ain't gonna know unless you come to the priests and prophets. You understand? It ain't. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So let's get some more. Now, when it says now to bring that part to the light. When it means by saying all nations means, you know what I mean? It breaks it down right here. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. You know what I'm saying? From the one end of the earth even unto the other. When it says all nations, it's speaking about us being scattered amongst all nations. That's what it's talking about when it says, all nations be saved. It's talking about the Israelites that's scattered amongst all nations. We scattered abroad all the way throughout the earth today. You understand? We everywhere. We everywhere. We in America, South America, Central America. You understand? The Caribbean islands. We in Canada. We in the UK. We goddamn some simpletons, some brothers that simpletons went over to Africa, and we I mean, we over there. We in Europe. We in China. You know what I'm saying? We in Thailand. Some simpletons moving to Thailand and all that garbage. You know what I'm saying? We all over the damn place. We everywhere. We are scattered abroad, like the scriptures say right here. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods. We're going to serve other gods. What's these other gods? You know what I'm saying? What's these other gods? These other gods are, you worshiping yourself when when your birthday come around. When your so-called birthday come around, you know what I'm saying? You want to go ahead, celebrate your birthday. You celebrating yourself. You idolizing yourself. You making yourself a god on that day, whether you know it or not. Whether you know it or not, you over there making yourself a deity, making yourself, something special, like, having everybody worship you on that day, everybody giving you gifts on that day, everybody giving you something that day, everybody attention all given to you on that one day. You know what I mean? What brothers is it? What we say when it's around that time when it's it's a birthday coming around? Be like, oh, it's my day. It's my day. It's my month. It's my week. You understand? It's my weekend. It's my birthday weekend. It's my birthday month. You understand? When all that is garbage. You know what I'm saying? All that is garbage. That is white customs to be celebrating birthdays. You understand? That's white customs. That's not black culture celebrating birthdays. That's not black culture. You know what I'm saying? We was never to be celebrating birthdays. But that's what we do on that day. That's one of the gods we serve. Like I said right here, we gonna serve other gods. We like celebrating birthdays. We like celebrating uh what's coming up? Halloween. We like celebrating Halloween when that has nothing to do with God nor the Bible. It has nothing to do with any of that, but we going out there celebrating it. We damn sure putting costumes on our babies, on our precious babies, and sending them out there. You know what I mean? Whether you going with them or not, I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? You sending them out there to get candies from strangers. You understand? Getting candies from strangers. It's like candy from strangers. And it's super dangerous what you're doing too. And it's stupid. You know what I mean? What the hell we that bored here in America? We got our own culture. Black culture alone is enough for us, you know what I mean, to have us be occupied and what to do every year. And you understand? Taking Halloween is another white custom. Halloween is white culture. That is not black culture. But we damn sure, like I just said, we gonna have our precious kids, our precious black and Hispanic babies out there in costumes, in harm's way, in danger, knocking on doors for candy. You know what I mean? You don't know what the hell them people doing to the candy. But we going out there doing this nonsense. The Lord is not with it. That's why so many of us die on Halloween. That's why so many of our kids get kidnapped on Halloween. That's what Halloween is really about. If you do your history on it, you understand. That's why so many of us perish on Halloween, because we serving another God. We serving another God. We serving idols. Idols. There's only one God. You know what I'm saying? But what we doing out here is we serving idols according to this scripture right here. These one of the gods that we serve. You understand? When we ain't supposed to be doing none of that. The Lord ain't with it. The Lord not with any of that, man. The Most High wants you to. I'm gonna have to switch this around. The Most High wants us to be different and not be like our oppressors. So when we doing that, man, you know, man, you angering the Most High. You angering the Most High. You know what I'm saying? You angering the Most High. Let me bear with me a second. It's real slow. Hey, Shalom Akrasa. Come. Shalak Israel. Yeah, so that's the reason why we can't serve these guys out here. That's what it say right here, man. It's saying when we serve these other guys, we can't do that. I'm gonna read on. It says, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. These are some of the gods. Like, that's another batch of idols that we worship today. You understand? The wood and stone, the wood and being that wooden cross in the church. You understand? That wooden cross in the Christian church, and the stone being that stone in Mecca. You understand? Being that stone in Mecca. We have to understand, man, these things ain't for us. Thank you. What's going on? Hey, you want to pull up? You can come on camera with me. It's going to be tight, but shit. All right. So, yeah, man. So, just saying, like, we reading this precept. We talking about the prominent people of the Bible. And we just going over some of the curses, you know what I mean, that we enduring right now. I'm at the end of Deuteronomy 28:64. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna read this last part again where I just left off. It said, even wood and stone. These are some of the other batches of, you know what I mean, the fake gods that we had, you know, the idols that we worship today. The wooden cross in the church and the, you know what I mean, that dumb rock that y'all worship in Mecca. You understand? These are the things that we have to stray away from. We got to turn our back on these idols that we worship here, because that's our destruction right there. That ain't how we gonna be better. You know what I mean? Everybody want to know what's the solution for black people? How is the way how we going you know prosper? How we going to get out of this hellhole we into that we in today? How we really going you know what I mean rise as a people? That's the big mystery amongst the black community, right? What's the solution? The solution is to separate yourself from the white man. Separate yourself from him. That means that don't mean leave the country. That don't mean leave America. Separate yourself, meaning you gotta separate everything about your life that you had here in this place. Meaning no more Halloween, no more celebrating your birthday. You understand? No more all these guys. Get rid of them. You understand? We coming on the season where brothers and sisters out there, you know, about to plant a tree in their crib. We can't do that. When the Most High said for us to do that, but we doing it though. These why these curses are coming on us, man. You know what I'm saying? And this more so shows you we are these people. We are the Israelites, man. That is talking about right here. We the nation of Israel that Moses gave these. The Most High gave these commandments to through Moses. All right. We're gonna go to verse 68. Did you want to read it? Yeah.
It's Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
He's gonna bring us into Egypt again with ships. He's gonna bring us into Egypt again with ships. Now the word Egypt. Now, first of all, it said again. We leave in Egypt again. In the Bible, we didn't go back to Egypt twice. You understand? In the Bible, we left Egypt and, you know, we went into the wilderness for 40 years. You understand? We went into the wilderness for a period of time, and then we had Joshua go into to our land and take that land over. You understand? So what in the hell it mean go into Egypt again? What it means by going into Egypt again, first off, you gotta know what the word Egypt means. The word Egypt is a Greek word for bondage. It's a Greek word for bondage. You understand? So why the Most High said we will be go back into bondage again. Go into bondage again with ships too. Who is the only people on the earth that went into, you know, slavery, into bondage by the way of cargo slave ships? You understand? Black people and Hispanics too. You understand? We the only ones that, you know, had to deal with that. You know what I mean? We had to suffer that, you know what I mean, going into slavery by the way of cargo slave ships. You understand? You know what I mean? Africans selling us to the white man and the Arabs providing all the ships. You know what I mean? It was a big old scheme, that they had going on to have us be enslaved. You know what I mean? And a big money move for all these heathen out there. For all the heathen, they still, you know what I mean, benefiting off of it today. So it says what, brother?
The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With ships, right?
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
By the way whereof they, you know what I mean, I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, paraphrasing. Meaning we ain't gonna see that land again as a nation. We ain't gonna go back to Israel as a nation and, you understand, have be there until Christ come back. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna see that land no more. We here in America. We over here today in America. We Americans. We calling ourselves African American. We calling ourselves Cubano. You know what I'm saying? We calling ourselves, Puerto Rican, Dominican. We calling ourselves Jamaican. You understand? Trinidadian. And we calling ourselves everything else but the nation of Israel, who we really are. You know what I mean? These curses fit us so perfectly. I'm just keep saying it. You know what I mean? These curses right here is what happened to us. You know what I mean? Which shows you that who these Israelites really are. You know what I mean? So it's, yeah, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. What it say else? What else it say, brother?
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
And there thou shalt be sold we're gonna be sold to our enemies. Now, all right, if it was anybody listening, you know what I mean, everybody should know the answer to this. Who were black people sold to? We were sold to the oppressor. We were sold to the white man, who is the devil the Bible speaks of. We were sold to him. We were sold to to our enemies. The Most High called them our enemies. Our Father called them our enemies, man. Which means it's so stupid and it's so, it's just so idiotic to have us wanting to join together with these devils, to join together with our enemies. Because why? The Most High called them our enemies. He called them our enemies right there in Deuteronomy 28:68. He ain't just call them our enemies there. He called them in the 50th verse as well, 48th verse, around that area. You know what I mean? The Most High continuously calls these people our enemies. But, you know what I mean, when you look into what's going on today, we're being pushed and persuaded into loving and caring for our enemies. Basically wanting to join hand in hand with our enemies. When the Most High said, man, they're your enemies, and you're gonna be sold unto them if you disobey me. You understand? It's ironic how it is today, right? You know what I mean? Which means we got to pay attention to who really, cares for our people and who really don't. You know what I mean? It said we're gonna be sold unto our enemies. We better know who our enemies are. You know what I mean? The man that's unaliving us on a day-to-day basis in America, you know what I'm saying? Our blood flows in the streets of America, man. In cold blood, we being unalived by these devils here today. You know what I mean? We constantly having to endure and suffer police brutality in America. You know what I mean? We receive no justice for it. We receive no justice at all. You know what I mean? All we get is Al Sharpton coming up there. We gonna give y'all some money. We gonna, we gonna pray for y'all. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. You know what I mean? But we really, not having, we don't have any justice here at all. What we think justice is nothing compared to what really is justice in all actuality. You know what I mean? We don't receive none. That's why we have to, gravitate to what the Most High said, and not what your pastor said, not what your imam says, not whoever you looking up to say, not to whoever your favorite celebrities say on social media. You know what I mean? We gotta pay attention to what the Most High said. Was that it on that, brother? I think it was a little more.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
For bondmen and for bondwomen. Excuse me. For bondmen and for bondwomen. Meaning slave men and slave women. Black man, you are the Israelites of the Bible. Hispanic man, you are the Israelites of the Bible. These curses don't fit nobody but the children of God, the poor, the impoverished in America. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's suffering in the Native American Indian reservations. You understand? Starving to death, being ODing constantly over there. You know what I'm saying? Dying from police brutality too over there. You know what I mean? They suffering from lack of clothing. That's why the I.S.U.P.K goes out there every year. Every year, you know, I mean, we make it an annual thing to go out there every year and give these brothers and sisters in the Native American Indian reservations clothes for the winter, because nobody else is going to do it for them. You know, understand? They the ones that fit these curses right here. They the ones fit these curses where nobody give a damn about them. They're gonna be missing their children, their sons and their daughters. They're gonna be longing for them all the day long, and they're gonna have no might in their hands. You understand? Like it says in the book of Deuteronomy. And that's what's going on with us. You know what I mean? That's why it's our duty here in I.S.U.P.K to do this job and do it, do it well, you understand, and do it with zeal so we can save our brothers and sisters, man. Because without us, man, without the Lord providing this help from us in the UPK, we'll be a lost cause. We'll be a lost cause. You know what I'm saying? We will be wiped out. We'll be wiped out from these devils after a period of time. You know what I mean? There will be no saving us if Christ didn't, get on the live on that cross for us, man. That's why, it's imperative that we just, leave the culture of these oppressors behind. We leave that culture behind and we come to the culture of the Bible. You understand? This is the Bible is for niggas. The Bible is for Hispanics. You understand? The Bible is for us, man. You want to know who the nigga God was, man? It's in the Bible. You could find him in the Bible. You know what I mean? He gave us culture as black people and what we should do. He gave us a culture. He gave us high holy days. He gave us all these things for what we should be doing. And we choose to follow Christmas. We choose to go in a grocery store, buy turkeys once a year and cook them up once a year. You know what I'm saying? When you hate turkey, but you go ahead and buy a turkey because it's tradition. It's Thanksgiving tradition. You grew up on it, right? You know what I'm saying? You was raised on it, right? Well, like General Kathungabar says, you know what I'm saying? You could raise up off of it too. You know what I mean? You can fall back from it too when you understand and realize the knowledge of the truth, and you understand that these holidays is vain. They vain as hell. They vain as hell, man. And that's their culture. Why I take up their culture? Goddamn. What we copying their culture for, man? That wasn't for us. You know what I mean? That more proof how we slaves here in America. Because we don't have our own customs. God damn it, the Palestinians here are in better shape than us because they got their own. You know what I mean? The Arabs, they better off than us here because they got their own. They separate from America. I was arguing with not arguing, I was battling with some little fool today on Instagram. He talking about, how we should be we shouldn't be fighting against one another. And we should come together basically and stop fighting and stop talking about how we should be separate from other people, basically, right? And nobody tells the Chinese that. The Chinese got their restaurants and they got their own Chinatown in every major city in America. You understand? But nobody's going to them being like, man, why y'all separate from everybody? Why don't y'all, well, maybe y'all should leave Chinatown alone. Leave Chinatown alone. Y'all come together with us, man. Y'all set up restaurants in our plazas and y'all, y'all get incorporated in our giant stores, or y'all have y'all little restaurants in our ShopRites or whatever, have you, you know what I'm saying? And y'all do away with y'all restaurants, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just get joined together with us. Why don't they do that? Why don't they be like, well, you know what? I see y'all got your own people back there cooking for y'all, right? They don't even do this at the bare minimum. Y'all keep y'all Chinatown, y'all keep all that, but let's hire some of these white boys and put them in there, back there with y'all, and y'all pay them like y'all pay the rest of y'all Chinese, the rest of y'all family back there in the kitchen. They don't do that. They don't tell them, I know y'all believe that, but y'all need to be, what's the word? Y'all need to be accepting. It's another word I'm looking for, but I'm just saying accepting of, Christianity. Be accepting of Christianity and follow God, follow Christ. You understand? Bring a Christian cross to them. Like follow Catholicism. You know what I mean? They don't do that to them because they know they're respected. The Chinese are respected from these devils. But we don't have that from them, man. I don't want your goddamn love. I don't want your love and all that BS, man. We need your respect. You understand? That's what we want. You know what I mean? And you're going to respect what we have to offer here in the I.S.U.P.K. because ain't no goddamn devil coming up in here. Ain't no nation, ain't no heathen coming up in here. You know what I mean? At all. This is the black business right here in I.S.U.P.K, man, believe it or not. So we know Israelites, man, we the black, the black Hispanic Native American Indians, man, we are the Israelites in the Bible. We the nation of Israel that Moses was talking to in the Old Testament, man. And more prominent figures in the Bible, you know what I mean, like Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like, Job, we're gonna get these scriptures too on how these brothers, man, they're black. They black, man. You know what I mean? Let's get Job 30 and 30. Job 30 and 30, you know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean, we've been listening to the church for so many years, you know what I mean, thinking that, everybody in the Bible is white. They have all these cartoons growing up, me growing up anywhere, you know what I'm saying, where they depicting everybody in the cartoon to be white. White with, dressing in Roman clothing and all that garbage, you understand? These people were black, and we about to prove it in the Bible. Let's get Job 30 and 30.
Book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30. My skin is black upon me.
Job said, my skin is black upon me. He went to saying his skin is black upon him. You understand? Job was a nigga. You know what I mean? And you better believe the rest of these prominent figures in the Bible are black. Let's get some more. We're gonna go from there. Job, let's get Jeremiah 14 and 2. Jeremiah 14 and 2. You understand?
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth.
Judah mourneth. You understand? The word Jew is short for Judah. Jew is short for Judah. All right. So when you look at it, right, you know what I mean? It says Judah mourneth. The Jews are in mourning today. The word mourning in this context right here, when you read it, it's talking about the sadness that we have here in America today. Not just in America, wherever the hell we at, but mainly America. The sadness, you understand? We gotta bury our own children, man, in this place. We gotta bury our sons. We gotta bury our daughters in this place. The Jews are in mourning. You know what I mean? We living in utter poverty. You know what I mean? The rats and the roaches get into the cereal before we get to it in America. We don't get to eat. We don't get to eat, you know what I mean, good here in America, man. And if we working some slave job. We working in the factories. We working in McDonald's and all that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really living life here for real in America. We ain't living in heaven. You devils are, though. You know what I mean? It says Judah mourneth. And you fake Jews ain't in mourning. You know what I mean? You so-called the Jewish man over there, you know what I'm saying, wearing your yarmulkes and all that, small hats. Y'all are not in mourning. You own every goddamn thing. You own all the businesses, you know what I'm saying, the Diamond District. You own Hollywood, Hollyweird, you understand? You own all that garbage, man. You're not in mourning. You actually are living in your heaven. You understand? You got everything you can have, you know what I mean, to think that you are in your heaven. You got your own army, you got missiles, you got tanks. You giving billions and billions of dollars from the U.S. government every year. Every year. You know what I'm saying? You're not in mourning. I don't give a damn how it looks over there in Israel today. I don't give a damn who attacked you or whatever. What happened, man? You are in heaven. You're way better off than the real Jews. I'll tell you that for sure. It says, Judah mourneth. Read on, brother.
And the gates thereof languish.
And the gates thereof languish. Languish. Do you understand? The gates thereof languish. The gates represent what? Your protection. Your protection. Black people, we don't have no protection. We don't have protection at all today, man. Because who's our protection? I just spoke about Al Sharpton earlier. He's protecting us? No, not at all. Who's protecting us? Jamal Bryant? No. He sold out his people. No. T.D. Jakes? No, he just gave up his position and gave it to Jamal Bryant recently. Because all the accusations with him and Diddy and Puff. Nah. Who's our Gates? Tyler Perry? Hell no. Somebody tell me who our Gates are. Our gates have languished, meaning our gates are weak. They have fallen. We don't have no gates. We don't have no protection as black people here in America. Let's get some more.
They are black unto the ground.
They are what?
They are black unto the ground.
This is the Bible right here, man. This is not my words. I didn't write this Bible. I didn't write that verse. I didn't write Jeremiah 14:2. It says they are black unto the ground. They're black. If you dig up any soil wherever you at, it's going to be different derivatives of brown. Light brown, dark brown. You understand? That's what it's going to be. And look at black and Latinos and Native Americans in America. That's all of us. You know what I'm saying? We got different pigmentations of brown. You understand? We got light-skinned brothers, dark-skinned brothers. You know what I mean? Some brothers in the middle. You know what I mean? That's black and Latinos and Native American Indians, man. Black people are the real Jews of the Bible. We're the real Jews, not that oppressor, that devil over there calling himself a Jew today. You understand? He is not the Jew, but he's an imposter and a thief. Let's get some more. We got Revelations 1:13. You can start at verse 1, actually. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get we're gonna get the prominent figures in this Bible. We're gonna see if, you know what I'm saying, we lying or not in I.S.U.P.K. when we say this is a black man's book. Let's get it if you have it.
Book of Revelations, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
This is the revelation of Jesus Christ. What does the word revelation mean? The word revelation means to reveal. It means to reveal something. All right. So let's get down to verse 13 if you can.
Verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
In the midst of the 7 candlesticks is representing the 7 churches in Asia Minor, you understand? And you know what I mean? And it says, one like unto the Son of Man. Who's the Son of Man? The Son of Man is Christ. If you didn't know, Christ controls all these, churches. You understand? He's controlling it, right? He's over these 7 churches. And he has, angels over these 7 churches. Go ahead.
Clothed with the garment down to the foot.
Clothed with the garment all the way down. Slogan. Clothed with the garment about to say it again. Clothed with the garment down to the foot. You understand? If you've seen us at camp, it'd be a lot of brothers there with a garment that goes all the way down to their feet. You understand? That's how we rolled. That's how we dressed back then, man. We had garments. That's our formal attire. I mean, the attire we put on where we trying to dress up for the occasion. That's how we rolled, man, putting garments on. You know what I'm saying? He had a garment all the way down to the foot. Let's get some more details, some more information on this.
And girt about the paps with the golden girdle.
And girt about the paps with the golden girdle. So he had a golden girdle on, man. Golden girdle. A nice one, too. Let's get it.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
His hair and his hairs were white like wool. Meaning, this is old Quaker English for the hairs on your head and the hairs on your face. You understand? The whiskers on your face being white like wool. So he had a full head of white woolly hair, and the hairs on his face were white. Let's get some more.
As white as snow.
As white as snow. Go ahead.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
And his voice as the sound of many waters. You know what I mean? His voice projects. His voice is loud, like the sound of many waters. You go out in the ocean, man. The ocean don't sound nice. You know what I'm saying, at all. You know what I mean? Read on.
Verse 16. And he had in his right hand. Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet were like unto fine brass. His feet like unto fine brass. All right. Anybody know, you take a penny out, you got yourself some brass. You got yourself the color of brass. You understand? Go ahead.
As if they burned in the furnace.
So his feet was like brass, as if it was burnt in a furnace. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, like, he wasn't just brown, but he was dark brown. If you burn anything in a furnace, it's going to turn black. It's going to turn very dark. You understand? Christ was a black man, and a dark-skinned black man at that. You know what I'm saying? He was not no white boy. The point is, he wasn't a white boy, like what you've been taught in the Christian church, like what you've been taught in Roman Catholicism. Right. You understand? That picture that's been painted and stained in our heads since children was a goddamn lie. The white man is such a devil. He had us praying to him our whole life until we learned in the I.S.U.P.K. that he was a black man. Right. You understand? You want to say anything about it? Or it was too wild? Yeah, man. You know, this is what happened, man. You know, I mean, you come up in here, man, you get all the brainwashing of the white man in the Christian church off you. Get all that washed off you. You understand? Like, you know what I mean? Washing dishes. You understand? We get all that off you. You know what I mean? Christ was a black man. He was a nigga. You understand? Who serves a nigga God. And this is what this is what we come to the understanding in the I.S.U.P.K, man. You know what I mean? We gotta serve the nigga God. What are we doing? What are we doing serving a white man's God? What is he gonna do for us when the white man put us in slavery?
I gotta preach that.
Go ahead.
Going off of like how they wanted us to worship
their
image. This book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Right.
He covers the faces of the judges thereof. Mm-hmm. If not, where and who is it?
Damn right. You want to break it down? You want me to break it down? Yeah, like, man, listen. Like, the face has been covered. You know, the judge's face has been covered, man. You understand? From the brothers that have been whitewashed from the medieval times. You understand? The Dark Ages. You understand? They've been whitewashed in our faces, for a long time. You understand? You get the book called, what's that book called, brother? That's $1,000 today.
Russian Icons.
Russian Icons, you understand? You go get that book. And we got the book in the UPK. We got that book. Right. We got a copy of that book. A hard copy of that book. You understand? It was $2 back in the day in Commandant General YAHANNA's time coming up in the truth. It was $2 in the library. You understand? But it's $1,000 a day because they want to hide all that. They want to hide all that knowledge. You understand? If you go in that book, man, you wouldn't believe who is really black, who they portraying as white people in America. You understand? A whole book of truth, just having your mind blown, looking through the whole book, man. You wouldn't believe. It got Christ in there too. It got Christ in there too. It got Moses in there as well. You know what I'm saying? Being black men, you know what I mean? Which predates the Renaissance period and for anybody that don't know, the Renaissance is when the white man, you know what I mean, basically took over Europe. They took over Europe. They conquered Europe after we had Europe on lock. After we had Europe on lock, they came through and they, basically, they took over and conquered Europe. You understand? And whitewashed everything. Hence the Renaissance period. All right, and whitewashed every goddamn thing. That's why we worship that white Jesus today. And that white Jesus you think is white Jesus, he's actually Caesar Borgia. You understand? The second son of the Pope Alexander VI of Rome. He was a child abuser. He was a damn. Y'all look up Caesar Borgia. Y'all think I'm lying. Caesar Borgia, he is painted as Christ. You understand? The devil that painted him was oh goddamn, his name is right on my Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci. He painted him, and guess what? They were lovers. They were homosexual lovers. Leonardo da Vinci and you know what I'm saying, Caesar Borgia. Y'all look this is history. Y'all can look up. You know what I'm saying? And they painted him as Jesus Christ, and goddamn got the whole world worshiping him as Christ. You know what I mean? As the best man that ever walked, the greatest man that ever walked the face of the earth. The white man's the devil, man. He's the devil out. You know what I mean? And shout out to the priest and officer of 1,000 of War. You know what I mean? In the chat. You know what I'm saying? Water for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some more on that. Well, no, that was it, basically. So, yeah, they cover the faces of the judges thereof. That's what they do. They covered, you know what I mean, Christ's face, you know what I mean, the Most High's face, the angels' face. They got the angels looking like naked babies in their picture. They paint them as naked babies, which shows you the perversion and the oppressor, man. Which shows you his mind is thriving off perversion and just nastiness. You understand? That was it on that though, right? Where was we at in Revelation? 1:30. What did we finish that up? Or?
We finished it up.
Yeah, we finished that up. So Christ is a nigga, man. He's a nigga, and we get some more precepts on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get this last precept on it. I'm gonna get Acts 13:1. Acts 13:1, and then we're gonna clip it. Unless you want to bring something else out too. Oh man.
Book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger.
They were called what?
Niger.
They were called Niger. Niger means, so it means black. You know what I mean? But the word nigga derives from the word Niger. You understand? If you look up, if you go into your, if you go ahead and look this word up, Niger, and look up, you know what I mean, how it's really pronounced, you know what I mean? The app will show is pronounced nigger. Right. You understand? It's crazy. But Niger, man, they called us nigger in the Bible. They called Christ's disciples in the Bible nigger, which shows you the men of God throughout all the Bible, man. We're black people, man. We're blacks. We're niggas, man. We're spicks. So-called spicks, so-called niggas, man. That's us throughout the whole Bible. Everything special, you know what I mean, that man did on this earth was coming from us, from Israel. You know what I'm saying? From black people, Hispanic people, Native American, Indian people. Because we are God's children. We're his children, man. He raised us up to be kings and priests on this earth. You know what I mean? Which is going to happen in the future. You know what I mean? When Christ returns. So I wanted to break this down to y'all to let y'all know, man. Everybody, for newcomers out there, for people that's new to watching these classes, man, and don't know, well, that do know in their head that the Bible is for us, but don't know where the precepts is and want to know where things is at. I wanted to give you the breakdown for it today, man. So, you know what I mean? I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We're going to clip it right there unless you want to bring something up. Yeah, man. So, all right, I'm Priest and Officer 500 Mathumyad, Priest and Officer 50 Kalatazai. You understand? We're going to check out of here, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. With Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, starting out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jerry YAHANNA. We've been teaching the truth about the Bible since 1969. Truth being that the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are God's chosen people. We're the chosen people of God, the Most High's favorite people, you understand? And we're going to keep pushing this truth. Keep pushing it until our King returns, man, and give us the justice that we deserve. With that, man, I'm going to say shalom.